I did not want Jesus to be my God. I never even thought that he would be. Jesus was a cuss word, and Yeshua was his name. I go to sleep one night, and I hear my mother waking me up and saying, Liat, kumi, kumi, Yeshua or Mashiach. She says, wake up, Yeshua is the Messiah. Hi, my name is Liat. I was born and raised in a suburb of Tel Aviv, in Bat Yam. Right after I finished my military service, I decided to travel to the United States. And then I met my husband, who was not Jewish, but it didn't matter to me. There was a connection. We both were seeking God, and everybody in the family was worried, how are you going to raise kids? And, where you're Jewish and he's Christian. But I was very stubborn, and I was convinced that you can do it if in a spiritual way, where we just both respect each other's holidays and each other's practices and all that. He really respected, my choice to seek my spiritual roots and to understand them. Our son was turning 13, and I really wanted him to be bar mitzvah. So the only place that let us have his bar mitzvah was an Orthodox Jewish organization. And they were so sweet, and they were so welcoming, and I thought maybe that's what I need to do. I need to become more like an Orthodox Jew, because they seem to know what they're doing. They know how to pray. They know God. The kids would go Sunday to church and Saturday to Orthodox synagogue. I started to realize at some point toward the end of this experience, there were some things that were strange. Well, first of all, I had a conversation with the head rabbis, and he told me that I have to divorce my husband. And I had a beautiful marriage. Besides this religion issue that was growing bigger and bigger as a monster in our family, we had love for each other, and we were raising children. I didn't want to divorce him. Other boys, when they go out to read from the Torah, they would call out their names like Shimon, the son of Abraham. And when my boys would go up to the Torah, they would say, Noach Eliyahu, the son of Liat. Slowly I realized that as far as they're concerned, Greg, my husband, doesn't count as their father, and that was very hurtful. I went to Judaism to find God, and I didn't find him through all these rituals. And so I had this voice telling me, this is not God. And I love my people so much, and I wanted to belong to them so much. But I had a feeling, and I knew that I'm never going to be in a place where the father of my children is not welcomed. So I still needed God. I did not want Jesus to be my God. I never even thought that he would be. So I developed this other God. I said, okay, I'm going to have something spiritual. It would be love, justice, honesty, and beauty. I really try to convince myself that that's going to be my God. And something in me in my life was breaking while my husband is really starting to develop this big faith in Jesus. He comes to me and he tells me, Liat, I believe in the same God that you do. I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I told him, well, if you do believe in the same God that I do, why can't you just be Jewish? Why can't you just forget about Jesus and all this stuff and be Jewish, and then we can just have a wonderful life together? And in the house, Jesus becomes the enemy. Every book that he buys or he reads, if I see it, I turn it around or I stuff it in a drawer. He starts hiding it. He's learning and reading in secret. Here I am. I'm saying the father of my children is not going to be rejected. I am starting to reject him. I'm rejecting him. I'm hitting a place where I'm working really hard to be good, but I'm realizing that I'm really not good at all. That God that I invented is not saving me. I need someone to save me from this, and I don't know how. And I'm breaking down. I go to sleep one night, and I hear my mother waking me up and saying, Liat, kumi, kumi, Yeshua or Mashiach. She says, wake up, Yeshua is the Messiah. That morning I woke up, something changed me. That was not a dream. I know it was not a dream because first of all, I didn't know who Yeshua was. I never heard that name. But I know she was talking about Jesus for some reason. I didn't know who was it. And then the next night I go to sleep and Greg was telling me, Liat, you're yelling Yeshua, Yeshua through your sleep. I knew that what he was saying was right. I just was afraid, that what is he going to think about me? I told him, I think I believe in Yeshua. The next night, I went on my knees and I said, Abba, Adonai, if this is true, could you give me one more dream? I don't know. I said, could you give me one more dream? And I went to sleep and I had one more dream. And I woke up and I knew, I said, this is it. I know that Jesus is my Messiah. And then I knew that was what was missing, that in that fork that I arrived to, is that I was bad. And it was not that I was bad. I knew that I was not a murderer. I was not a thief, but I could never be on that level that is expected of me. No matter how much I tried, no matter how I exhaust myself, I couldn't. And that I needed a Messiah. I needed someone to save me from that. The first thing that I did, that I woke up that morning after my third dream, is I wrote in Hebrew. I went to the computer. I didn't want any American, any English-speaking person to tell me about Yeshua. So I went on the computer and I wrote in Hebrew, Lama Yeshua. And I wrote, why Yeshua? And One for Israel came. And One for Israel and all One for Israel's angels started to explain to me things that I didn't understand. One of my biggest fears was that I will lose my Judaism because I love being Jewish. They explained to me how Jewish believing in Yeshua is. And I did. For the first time in my life, I finally felt more Jewish than I've ever felt in my life. All of a sudden, also the gap between me and my husband was gone. I felt like, wow, I can see so clearly now. I was just a new person. I went to sleep hating Jesus. I woke up loving Yeshua. I don't know how to explain it.